Just have we push us around. You want to fight?
Good music production.
I'll take you on.
That nigga, stop playing with that clip, man. Make up some lines too, man. You know what I'm saying? Yo, Daba, man, get out of the stove, man. Get away.
I want to discuss with you really this election. I mean, what do you think about it? Because I really, just so you know where my point of view is, I'm with Condi Rice. I think that McCain and Obama are the kids in the room because we're dealing with actually intelligence officers. I mean, everybody else followed, George Bush Sr.'s lead and put intelligence officers as their heads of state. Russia, Venezuela. I mean, what do you think about what's going on?
I want to see a black president, and that it's just that simple. And I want to see it in my lifetime.
Well, I think that would be cool because then,
from what I've seen, he seems like he's doing all right. Okay. And that's about as deep as I get into politics.
Well, how do you think he would treat hip hop from a tax point of view? So, because this is how I want to approach it. I'm quite sure you pay taxes like I do, and we both must pay a lot of taxes. Hip hop, we pay a lot of taxes, almost like by default. $10 billion. Almost by default, we're like Republicans, but I'm not a Republican. I'm a capitalist, and I feel like Democrats really don't have a good tax package for hip hop.
I am worried about taxes because you don't want stuff like taxation without representation, and there's a whole other than it just benefiting me. There's a lot more to the concept of taxing than just my pockets. So I wouldn't, I'll say this is that I want to live in a safe environment, and I want to see America have a decent image throughout the world because the climate is such now that we can't go nowhere. Okay. You know what I mean? We can't go nowhere. You go to London and people don't like Americans, and it's not really, and that's a general statement. I know that.
Well, but, let's keep this about hip-hop. They do like hip-hop over in London.
No, they love hip-hop over in London.
And when I go overseas anywhere, I get treated with great respect. I don't. This is not a show where
I have no problem with the fact that he is most likely going to be the first black president.
Okay, what's the problem?
But my problem with it is would the caller was talking about he was going to vote for him for the reason that he's going to be the first black president.
Yeah.
Well, would you go to a doctor who has not been to school because he's black?
Well, in this situation, let's talk intelligently. And when you call this show, please, it's just really hear me out. Now, you like American Express, right?
Yeah. American
Express is run by a black CEO. You like Time Warner, right?
Yeah.
And you have no problem with that, right? So, I mean, it was all those people were put in charge when the company was messed up. So somebody messed up Time Warner, they put Mr. Parson in charge. When somebody messed up American Express, they put him in charge. So now you have America. You guys aren't handling your business that's in charge right now. So to put a young black man in charge is not really a problem. We live here too. And for him to say he's going to vote historically, yes, you're voting for a man that went to Harvard. You're voting for a man that is running a $200+ million campaign and is paying his bills and are paying other people's bills. So that I respect that part of it, but don't make it so simple. Got anything to say about that?
Reason sentence off with "I'm not the political person to talk to" is for a reason, and I don't want to get fried on this subject. My opinions are my opinions, and you can criticize me for it if you want, but I live in America and I can do whatever I want with my vote. You know what I'm saying, including not use it at all, which I did for probably 10 years. So out of ignorance, and not really having any respect for the electoral process. And, honestly, like everybody else going forward with all of this political activity happening, I am more in tune with what's happening politically. But listen, Bush in office for the last 8 years, who the hell wants to be in the politics anyway after that?
Well, I don't have a problem with Bush. And hear me out before you get mad, but just so you understand. check it. I was in the military when President Bush Sr. was in there, and he's the head of the CIA before. That was his job. So as an American citizen, I trained this guy to be my head killer, you know, to knock things out when we want to get things taken care of and run the CIA. Now this guy becomes the president of the United States, you know, after an actor, you know what I'm saying? Then he comes to the public and says, we have no money and we need to clean this up. And I think that it would behoove me as a smart, intelligent person to listen to my head killer to do that. But Americans didn't do that. So his son seen that people didn't listen to the truth. So why should he bother with it? You guys don't want to pay for the infrastructure? Hey, we don't worry about the infrastructure. You don't want to really handle and save your money, and we're dealing with a recession? Hey, he calls it a slowdown. You know, so how do you deal with that?
Stop playing.